a dim lit screen, clicking through stories you wouldn't believe. Cold case trails and courtroom scenes, whispers from the grave and media dreams. Truth is stranger, hearts beat faster, in the shadows of a news disaster. Scrolling deep where secrets hide, you found the stories time won't deny. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery, side by side. From backwoods clubs to breaking news lines, you shine a light where the silence lies. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Small town rumors and urban fear, a voice for the lost who can't speak here. Through every name, through every case, you hold the truth in a steady place. Cameras roll but justice lingers, truth unravels through careful fingers. You tell the story, speak their names in a world that's quick to look away. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery, side by side. From backwoods crimes to great night trials, you trace the echoes through every mile. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Some run from the dark, you walk right in with a question and a camera lens. It's not just a crime, it's the lives they led. The voice is still talking from the books unread. Headstones and headlines, the veil is thin. Truth gets louder when you begin. With every view, with every line, you bring the forgotten back to life. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Yeah, headstones and headlines, you tell the stories that time can't hide.
Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Long time no see. Sorry about yesterday. I was exhausted. And when I say exhausted, I was trying to create my thumbnail and I kept falling asleep. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going live today. I'm going to take a nap and I'll just do it for tomorrow and Wednesday. I wanted a nap again today after work because my allergies are acting up and I'm just busy all day. And it's actually nice that I'm busy because New York has implemented the bell-to-bell no cell phone / electronics policy. And while there is much resistance, the fact that I'm able to teach without disruption is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So thanks for bearing with me. Thank you, Dinah Do. $1.49. Actually, I gotta look at my phone to see what it is. Oh, it's a rose. That's sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the kittens will appreciate that too because they need more treats. For those of you who weren't here on, what's today? Tuesday. On Sunday, one of my foster kittens did go home this past weekend. So I have 2 left, plus the mama and 2 babies from the previous spring. And my sister is like, she knows TikTok, how to do videos and stuff. So she's like, send me pictures. I'll make a video so we can promote them. And speaking of cats, I just looked at my cameras. The mama cat who has been outside my house came back skinny. So she's had her babies where I don't know, but she's outside eating right now, which is good. I actually bought kitten food to mix with the like adult food that I have, just so that she can, hopefully pass nutrients to her babies, and hopefully she brings them to my house so I can trap them all, get them fixed, and get them great homes. So thanks for being here, and thank you, Sinner, for sending your viewers over here. It is appreciated, even though I told you didn't have to do that. Thanks for being here. Legally Blonde, Yaya, Joan, Curious, good to see you. Yeah, Nanny, I'm sorry about that. I was like, and the reason I scheduled yesterday, Jesus, I am so, like, my brain is like not working today. And so much so that I had my math definitions completely reversed today. And the kids are like, wait, that's not right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you, Miss? I almost said my name. Yeah. So anyways, I did that so that I'm held accountable. And I have tomorrow off because I have to run to an appointment. So I said, you can sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So, hey, Mystery, how are you? Marie, Marlena, Lindsay, good to see you. Let's see, I'm going to just scoop. Hey, is it Watt or W-A-T? I would pronounce that Watt. Watt. Thank you so much, Marlena, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Stoners. Appreciate that. Yeah, and it was nice, and I said, like, I could have went live yesterday, but the fact that I was falling asleep meant that I needed to take a nap. Like, I'm not going to push through it and then, fall asleep. Not that I would, like, I would end it. If I was falling asleep during a stream, I'd be like, all right, I'm out. See ya. Time to go. All right. So anyways, enough of me babbling. This case that we are going to continue talking about today is from Ursuline High School. It is a Catholic high school in Youngstown, Ohio, Mahoning County. And on Sunday, we looked at the story, news clips, etc. And today, there is an interview that a local news station had with the lawyer who has brought the federal civil lawsuit against the school, the principal, vice principal, or not vice principal, I think it's just the principal, the football coach, the assistant football coaches, the parents of numerous students, unnamed students, because they are minors. The details may be graphic. I did skim through it before I came live, and there are some, how do I say it? Graphic and lewd images of text messages that I was like, holy shit. So definitely take a break if you need to. The criminal complaint is 200 pages. So I am not going to get through the entire thing today. So I did schedule a live for tomorrow and most likely also Thursday, because it's going to, I think, take more than 2 days, but we'll see how far we get. So first we are going to start with an article, actually, for those of you who don't know this case, to kind of get caught up. And I've got to say, I have not seen a hazing case like this. There's been a lot of hazing cases. I tend to follow it because when I was in college, I pledged a sorority. And were we hazed? Yes, we were. Were we hazed to this extent? Hell no. Hell no. And be mindful that this is a high school football team who, at the time of my last live, was ranked number 11 in the state. And it seems that the school was more concerned with their football record than a student who was not only hazed, but sexually and physically assaulted. It's disgusting. Yes, thank you, Dinah Do. Hey, Truth Seeker, what's going on? And anyone else who I may have missed or who is in the bushes, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Okay, so Ohio High School. Oh, am I sharing it? No, I'm not. Rid of myself. There we go. Okay, so Ohio High School faces federal civil rights lawsuit over hazing, sexual assault allegations from former football player. Why is it? Oh, there we go. The accusations in the lawsuit stem from a 9-day football camp in June. And this article is from September 6th, which was Saturday. An Ohio high school is facing a federal civil rights lawsuit after one former student on the football team made several disturbing allegations, including that he was subjected to hazing and sexual assault while attending a football camp in June, according to court documents. The complaint, filed on Tuesday, which would have been a week ago, so September 2nd, in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Ohio, named Ursuline High School in Youngstown as a defendant in the case. Several school officials and football coaches, the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown, forgot to name them in the lawsuit. I forgot to mention them, I should say. And several unnamed players and parents were also listed as defendants in the lawsuit. According to a press release from the Chandra law firm, which is representing the mother of the football player and her daughter, because we learned that the daughter had been harassed, intimidated, just harassed, because she was being told to keep her mouth shut. The lawsuit claims that the plaintiff's son was, quote, violently assaulted during a 9-day football camp that traveled through Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama in June. And there were several other states as well that were mentioned prior. Hey, Ocean Tide, thanks for being here. The boy, who was not identified in the lawsuit but was described as a freshman on the team, claimed that he was sexually assaulted on the first night of the trip by one player. Another player was accused of filming the assault and uploading it to the team's group Snapchat. The alleged hazing and bullying continued in the days after the initial alleged assault, and on the 4th day of camp, the plaintiff alleged that he was assaulted again when he was restrained by several players and stripped until he was completely exposed. The alleged assault was again filmed and shared with the same group on Snapchat. So the lawsuit is also alleging dissemination of child pornography. The lawsuit named other alleged acts of hazing and bullying, both against the plaintiff and other players. The complaint also alleged that school officials failed in their response to the plaintiff's complaints and that coaches were aware of the threats of bullying during the camp but did not take meaningful action. And I will say, just a little spoiler, that is a true statement. There is proof that the coaches knew what was happening and did nothing. Hey, Smokin', thanks for being here. The mother first raised the allegations to an assistant coach on June 16th during the camp and claimed that the coach allegedly dismissed the assault allegations, stating, quote, just boys being boys, end quote, according to the complaint. She also met with school officials after her son returned home and claimed they were, quote, showing no regret, remorse, or compassion at the start of the meeting. It's a nice looking school. The complaint also accused the school of failing to perform an investigation or take meaningful disciplinary action against the players or coaches, even after being presented with evidence, according to the law firm representing the plaintiffs. The mother's daughter was also subjected to intimidation, and the family allegedly faced retaliation after coming forward with the complaints. And we had learned on my last live that the father had received a phone call even after the lawsuit came out. He received a threatening phone call that he should shut his mouth. And that's not verbatim, but that's pretty much the gist of it. In addition to hazing and assault, the lawsuit also alleged several Title IX violations and said the defendants committed several other offenses, including false imprisonment, stalking, child pornography, and distributing lewd and obscene materials. This case is about accountability. No family should have to endure the trauma this family suffered at the hands of other students and then at the hands of school officials who, the suit alleges, made excuses, ignored, and even tried to cover up what happened. The plaintiff's lead attorney, Subodh Chandra, said in a press release, "We would welcome hearing from people with information about the lawsuit's allegations and also from other victims. Ursuline High School and the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown were contacted for comment. In response, a spokesperson told Fox News Digital that a police investigation into the allegations was ongoing and that both school and diocese representatives have cooperated with that investigation." Hey, Narcos, thanks for being here. And thank you again to Narcos. He is the one who actually sent me the story, and I do appreciate that. Hey, Angie, no worries. The safety and well-being of our students is Ursuline High School's top priority. Ursuline parents can and should feel confident that their sons and daughters are in a safe environment every day. To that end, we want to highlight the steps we've taken in regard to the allegations about the football program. The statement continued. After the students and coaches returned from the trip in question, one family made a formal report to the school alleging misconduct. And remember, the mother of this juvenile showed the video to the assistant principal. The assistant principal was quoted as saying, "This is bad." Once informed, Ursuline's administration timely opened an investigation. Immediately thereafter, oh my gosh, what is happening? Why is this jumping? I don't know how to pronounce that. Representatives and local authorities were notified of the allegations. Both Ursuline and the Diocese of Youngstown continue to cooperate fully with the authorities' investigation, which is ongoing. Both out of concern for the identity of minors and at the request of the police, Ursuline has not discussed the allegations in public. The school noted that disciplinary actions against some of the students, quote, most directly involved were imposed under Ursuline policies, end quote. Some students left the school, quote, before discipline could be imposed, end quote. I don't know. They left before discipline could be imposed. I think they were told you can either leave or be expelled. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right, sorry about that. Increased chaperone presence and mandatory training reviews were put in place as a result of the allegations, the school added. The football team's game on Friday, which was this past Friday, was also canceled following news of the civil case. And let me look up, because I will say I was slacking. Let me just see if there's any new news article. 20 hours ago. Oh, okay. So now the school's finally doing something. Exactly a week after the federal civil lawsuit was filed, Ursuline football coach Dan Reardon suspended, 2 assistants placed on leave after alleged hazing. So it only took a federal lawsuit for the school to say, oh, I guess we should have done something. And in my opinion, this is all politics. They're just doing it to try to save their asses because they did nothing to begin with. They did nothing. And this Reardon had worked at Ursuline prior, but was let go because of, I'm trying to remember. I believe he was the one that used physical and mental, like he was physically and mentally abusive to his players. One of the assistant coaches also had been let go because of something like that as well. Like they were known for doing these things. Evil Queen said, oh wait, I missed a lot of comments. Smokin said the senior girls hazed the freshman girls and they got in trouble. Oh wait, there we go. I had to go back even further. So Smokin says, I got hazed when I was a freshman by the seniors back in the mid-'80s. It was the tradition. They got in trouble and that tradition ended. No joke, but it didn't go SA, but there was nudity. The senior girls hazed the freshman girls and they got in trouble. They made us strip down naked and made us swim in a pig pond in front of the senior girls. Oh my gosh. Nanny, the victims, yes, they have left the school. I exactly, Angie. They should be fired and charged. Forget this, suspended, placed on leave, because he probably was oh wait, where's the article? Oh, it's just the video. Okay. Whoops.
Born in America, InSinkErator garbage disposals are the only disposals with...
Watch this ad first. And I want to read a few more comments because I see like really good comments coming in. So I'm just going to let this ad get through and then I'll go over to comments. Okay, so where did I leave off? Right, criminal charges. Hey, Silent Angel, thanks for joining. Drive safe. Yeah, and law enforcement has also been investigating for 3 months. Like I said, when you hear and see what is in this I shouldn't say criminal complaint, civil complaint, you are going to wonder why criminal charges have not yet been filed. Smokin said it was football players and cheerleaders that did it, and others, they got suspended. I was going to say, Sinner, I didn't think Youngstown was that far, because Mahoning County. The football player should be charged also, I think. I do too. Even though they're minors. Whoever were the lead perpetrators need to be charged. And the fact that the school said, well, some of them left before they could face consequences. Bullshit. They're just trying to save their football team, try to save their image. But here's the thing. If they had just done the right thing to begin with, they wouldn't be all over national news. They wouldn't be in Sports Illustrated. Like, you didn't want your name out there. Well, it's out there now. Also, there have been, oh shoot, Silent Angel, and I forgot to look at your email again before my live. Dang it. Also, there have been parents saying their child tuition has been paid last week. They got letters sent home. So parents are getting their child's tuitions paid without knowing who did it? Oh, Lindsay, only a couple hours from you. Okay. Evil Queen says, listen, let it out, because it is angering and disgusting just because it's football. And who knows what else has gone on at this school and just been swept under the rug.
Tell you today, too, about some serious hazing allegations shaking up the Ursuline High School football program. The head coach is now suspended, 2 assistants are on leave, and questions are swirling about what really happened here. We want to warn you, there are some details of this case that are really disturbing. We just don't want you to be caught off guard.
Yes, and I will say they are very disturbing. We heard some of them on my last live. I'm not sure what exactly they're going to say on this clip, but we are going to find out.
Award spoke with the player's lawyer about the federal lawsuit and the new developments today.
The Ursuline High School football program is under fire. Head coach Dan Reardon is suspended and 2 assistants are on leave after a federal lawsuit was filed containing disturbing hazing allegations involving players on the team.
A young freshman boy who was a football player at Ursuline High School experienced on a 9-day camp trip down to Florida and other states, including Tennessee, extreme hazing in the form of sexual abuse, and that other students recorded that abuse and disseminated what was effectively child porn to Snapchat and into the community.
The school confirmed it is investigating the allegations. The victim's attorney, Subodh Chandra, says what happened goes far beyond team bonding.
The boy had obviously never been through anything in his life like this, and according to the allegations of the suit, has suffered pretty severe emotional distress as a result of what has occurred.
And before one of the assaults, I'll say alleged assaults, this boy was hiding in a closet and they found him and dragged him out. These I would assume they're upperclassmen. I don't know for sure. I'm assuming they're upperclassmen. Angel says, you don't know Ursuline. It is about money and making a name for the school. I know, I went there. Yeah. Well, they're getting a name for themselves. That's for damn sure. I just don't think it's the name that they were striving for. Yeah, sounds like bribery, right? Oh, we'll pay your tuition if you just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. We'll pay your tuition. Angel said football players are sorry. I thought I put that in there. You know what? Let me go look at that real quick. I'll play this and I'll check out that email.
The victim and his sister, who also attended Ursuline, have now transferred to different schools.
The suit alleges that the sister of the alleged victim in this matter was also subjected to intimidation by one of the football players and his friends.
The attorney says both the coaching staff and school leaders should be held accountable for not stopping it sooner.
Our clients, including the mother of the two minor alleged victims here, wants above all accountability. She wants to see a top to bottom review. She wants to see those who knew but failed to act held accountable, those who permitted things to happen that they knew were happening to be held accountable, players to be held accountable.
Ursuline says assistant Michael Frasco will serve as interim head coach for the rest of the season. Ursuline's varsity team is not currently scheduled to have a game this week. They have a bye. We asked the victim's attorney if he believed this was an isolated event or points to a broader culture within the program. We'll have his response on that coming up at 5.
It's really so disturbing. All right, Amaya, thank you so much.
It's awful.
Born in America.
Pause. Okay, so let me just get back to chat quick. Right, curious. Never been through something like this. Who has? WTF, right? Oh, really? Ed O'Neill went to school at Ursuline? I know someone has been tagging him thinking this will get out there more. Hopefully it does, but I doubt it. Interesting. And I did see, so Angel did send me an article just similar to what we had just watched on that video. And I just wanted to see if... Okay, so this says, according to a statement from the high school, Frasco, a long-time assistant coach, will lead the team for the rest of the season. The statement also notes that head coach Dan Reardon has agreed to an indefinite suspension. Oh, he agreed to it. He shouldn't have a choice. Like, what the heck? Assistant coaches Tim McGlynn and Christian Sierranudis have been placed on administrative leave. The statement says the status of the 3 coaches is, quote, pending the outcomes of the ongoing investigations and litigation, end quote. No decisions have been made regarding their contracts or future employment, according to the statement. Ursuline High School and the Diocese of Youngstown have not shared additional information. So that was the first one. Okay, so let's go to the interview, the full interview with the lawyer, Mr. Chandra, and then we'll... Oh, no, stop it. YouTube. Stop it. And then we'll get into the complaint itself. Hey, Women's Warrior, thanks for being here. So, Nanny, there have been more victims that have... let me rephrase that. There have been more victims and witnesses who have come forward since the lawsuit was filed. I'm not sure, details about it, but I feel like there are... it went to a group Snapchat. So the entire football team was sent videos of what was happening. And it reminds me of Trent Lehrkamp, who had gone to a party. And I just remember there was a photo of him in a chair. He had just stuff all over him. We'll just say that. Same situation. Yeah, that's a good question, Narcos. Are they going to relieve the bishop and principal? Because the assistant principal knew about it, and I would assume that she informed the principal, who should have informed the council, but they should. All right, so let's get started on this.
Okay. I know your name, but for anyone who's transcribing this and needs to know, can you
Sure.
say it for us?
It's Subodh Chandra, Subodh Chandra, managing partner of the Chandra Law Firm in Cleveland. We are a civil rights law firm.
Just Chandra, can you talk to us a little bit about this bombshell federal case filed Tuesday with Ursuline players, coaches, administration, please?
Our clients allege that they are victims of abuse by football players at Ursuline, hazing abuse, sexual assault, kidnapping, dissemination of child porn, battery, and various other state crimes in multiple states: Ohio, Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida.
Okay, so that makes sense. They traveled through many states, but Ohio, Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida are the specific states where these things happened.
This all culminated, according to the suit, in a 9-day football camp trip that the Ursuline High School football team took with its coaches down to these states. And there, the suit alleges, there were repeated acts of sexual assault, hazing occurring, with certain boys being instigators, others egging it on, and some video recording these incidents and then sharing them to the team Snapchat.
What was the case? I'm going to have to Google it, but it didn't have to do with hazing necessarily. But there was a case where this young girl these high school kids were going party hopping, and this one young girl was sexually assaulted, and it was on video. There were several boys, one specifically, and I have to look that up because as I'm listening to this, that's what I'm thinking about. Even though that wasn't hazing, this girl was so inebriated that she was not able to make conscious decisions, and she had been assaulted by numerous boys. Some of it on video.
When our client, victim football player, told his mother about this at the end of the trip, he was obviously very distressed, and the suit alleges that he was sexually assaulted. The mother then spoke with the coach, who essentially, according to the complaint, said it's just boys being boys, but otherwise expressed no support.
Steubenville. That's what it was. Steubenville. That case was terrifying as well. And what was it? A football team. Steubenville football team. And I believe that's the case that the group Anonymous got involved in because nothing was happening to those boys. I'm going to have to look that up to verify, but I'm pretty sure it was the case with the Anonymous. Let me do that real quick. Steubenville. Excuse me. Yes, Steubenville. And so maybe it wasn't the football team. Oh no. I was right. Okay, so let's just take a little pause because this is reminiscent of this case. And Steubenville was back in 2012. Holy crap, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. So our case unfolds on web in Split City. And this was Steubenville, Ohio. I didn't know the exact state, but let's see. Let's see. How far is Steubenville? Steubenville to Youngstown. An hour and 15 minutes. Straight shot. And so Steubenville is an hour south of Youngstown. So hours after sunset, the cars pulled up one after another, bringing dozens of teenagers from several nearby high schools to an end of summer party in August in a neighborhood here just off the main drag. For some of the teenagers, it would be one last big night out before they left this decaying steel town bound for college. For others, it was a way to cap off a summer of socializing before school started in less than 2 weeks. For the lucky ones on the Steubenville High School football team, it would be the start of another season of possible glory as stars in this football crazy county. Some in the crowd, which would grow to close to 50 people, arrived with beer. Those who did not were met by cases of it and a makeshift bar of vodka, rum, and whiskey, all for the taking, no identification needed. In a matter of no time, many of the partygoers, many of them were high school athletes, were imbibing from red plastic cups inside the home of a volunteer football coach at Steubenville High, at which would be the first of several parties that night. So, party hopping. Here we go. I'm just going to read this part, and I will share this article if anyone is interested in reading it. The parallels are definitely uncanny. By sunrise, some people in and around Steubenville had gotten word that the night of fun on August 11th might have taken a grim turn, and that members of the Steubenville High School football team might have been involved. Twitter posts, videos, and photographs circulating by some who attended the night-long set of parties suggested that an unconscious girl had been essayed over several hours while others watched. She may have even been urinated on. In one photograph posted on Instagram by a Steubenville High School football player, the girl, who was from across the Ohio River in West Virginia, is shown looking unresponsive as two boys carry her by her wrists and ankles. Twitter users wrote the words RAPE and drunk girl in their posts. And I don't remember what happened. So this took place on August 11th. So then it says on August 22nd, the possible crime made local news when the police came forward with details. Two standout Steubenville football players, Mays, 16, from Bloomingdale, and Malik Richmond, 16, from Steubenville, were arrested and later charged with raping a 16-year-old girl and kidnapping her by taking her to several parties while she was too drunk to resist. And the Mays, I think it was Mays who I need to look into this case to see. Let's see. So let me just share this because I'm not going to read the rest of this. Let me just look up. What was his first name? Mays. So here's Malik Richmond, 16 years old. It's so similar. Oh, Trent Mays. Oh, Trent Mays, I think is, so Malik was a black student. Mays, I believe, was the white student. And Mays, I don't think anything actually happened to him. Let me look up. So Malik Richmond. March 5th, 2005. So this is recent. Bo Pelini plays convicted rapist Malik Richmond. So what school is he going to? Youngstown State. So I'll share this article as well. A few years back, a high school football player, Malik Richmond, raped a high school female. Video of his disgusting act was shared on social media. He was convicted of rape and served less than a year due to the fact that he wasn't 18 at the time. Richmond then finished high school and attended 2 different colleges before deciding to enroll at Youngstown State last year. Bo Pelini, upon learning Richmond was on campus, recruited him to join the football team. How nice. How nice. So that's Malik. So let me look up Trent Mays. Unbelievable. What? Are you kidding? So now Trent Mays. Okay, I'm going to have to do this differently. Yeah, Trent Mays was white. Oh, they were both removed from the sex offender list by a judge. How convenient. Unbelievable. All right. Anyways, I could be on a complete... No, I'm not presenting anything. I'm just rambling. We might need to revisit that case. Okay, so anyways, let's get back to what we're here for, and that is the case in Youngstown, Ohio. One now owns a business in Steubenville. Youngstown State is only 2 to 5 minutes away from each other, depending on traffic. Okay. Hey, Cuddle, how's it going? Oh, Twist, you were there for the protest? Yeah, it was anonymous, right? Was I right when I said that? I couldn't find anything as I was quickly Googling. Women's Warrior says, it happens a lot more than you realize. I know 2 girls that this happened to. One of the girls mentally shut down, and she speaks like a young child of 4. She was 17 when it happened. And that's the thing. This girl, I mean, her whole life, and these 2 boys who were convicted, and because they were underage, got a slap on the wrist. They're just able to live their lives. It's gross.
Surprise or alarm at what had taken place. So it's a very serious matter. The suit also alleges cover-up, failure to discipline, negligent hiring and retention of these coaches to begin with, who the suit alleges had dubious backgrounds. And the hiring...
Uh-oh. That's him, not me.
Uh-oh.
By the bishop, even after an official of the diocese had recommended against that because of the problematic background of the coach.
How egregious is all of this?
This is one of the most severe cases of pervasive sexualized hazing that I've seen in my career at any institution, be it a high school or be it collegiate. And it appears to us to be a series of almost breathtakingly bad exercises of judgment from beginning to end. The suit is alleging that the original sin was the hiring and retention and failure to supervise and train coaches, but extending all the way through the pattern of hazing that took place over many years, victimizing our clients, dissemination of child porn, and then covering it up and issuing false statements afterwards.
And I did not see, as I was skimming the complaint, I did not see what those false statements might be, but I'm interested to know. Angel says, look how much I pay attention to what everyone is talking about in town. I had no clue this is what everyone was upset about, the player at Youngstown State. I am not into college football, only watch Ohio State because my cousin plays. Even if I can watch a game most Saturdays, I am busy. Yeah, definitely look into that. That was, I remember following that. And that was, what did I say? 2012. Yeah. It was bad.
So it's a very serious matter indeed.
There's so many questions. You know, there are some people that have heard and read this story, and our viewers want to know, this happened back over the summer in June. Why are we now just hearing about it? Why did it take so long?
Well, there was some local coverage, I believe, either at the end of June or in July by various local news affiliates. But the school was issuing statements denying that anything had occurred, claiming an investigation that the suit contends didn't really take place. Certainly our clients weren't interviewed as victims. And there's also an allegation that a daughter was victimized here too, the son's sister, because she faced intimidation by at least one football player and his friends about what she knew. That's what the suit contends. So in answer to your question again, there has been some initial news coverage on this, but the school administrators were putting out statements denying what they knew to have taken place because they had copies of the videos. One of the administrators had actually recorded the video from our client mother's phone. So she had the video, she saw what had occurred, and nevertheless, they were putting out statements gaslighting our clients and the community that nothing had occurred.
Wow. So they recorded the video from the mom's phone and then gaslit the community saying nothing happened. Kudos to this mom for fighting against this institution because it cannot be easy. And although I would do anything to fight for my kid if I had one. Unbelievable.
There is, I can confirm, a federal, state, and local law enforcement investigation, we believe, spanning 4 states. Our clients have been cooperating with the federal investigation since we filed the suit.
So I wonder, now that he said, I didn't realize that there was a federal investigation going on. I'm wondering if that isn't why the local authorities haven't said anything yet. I honestly don't think they were doing much at all. And so now that the feds are involved, it's interesting. I agree, Narcos. The coaches should have never been hired back for previous issues.
We have heard from other potential victims. And so this is a matter that is going to take a great deal of effort to try to unravel and resolve and hold people accountable. Our clients are determined to hold everyone involved in this from top to bottom accountable. What's important now is that people with information about what transpired here or other victims come forward. We want to give them a safe space to be heard, and we would welcome hearing from other victims.
My goodness. So there's a federal and a local investigation
Federal, state, and local.
for federal. Is there an
Oh, and
investigation
state.
happening in the state of Ohio?
We believe so. Yes,
Okay.
our clients are cooperating with law enforcement and meeting their requests.
And I mean, it should be federal. This took place across state lines in several states.
That was one of the questions our viewers had. They said there's normally a criminal investigation before there's a civil investigation. What happened? Why is it? Why does it seem reverse in this instance?
I can't speak to what has taken law enforcement so long, but I would imagine that they're trying to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. We just were very thorough in our work on this, and it, as you can see from the 200-page complaint, it took a great deal of investigative effort to put all of this together. It took reviewing videos, photographs, interviewing witnesses, gathering information about what had transpired, and putting together the complaint. But our hope and expectation is that law enforcement also will act to hold all of those who are responsible accountable. It's important that your viewers understand that the criminal justice system and the civil justice system offer different remedies. Some of them overlap, but many of them don't. For example, victims of sexual assault through the criminal justice process can obtain only very limited restitution in the form of hard economic damages that have been experienced. In the case of sexual assault survivors, that
Oh, he froze again.
economic losses, but there is tremendous emotional distress, reputational harm, trauma that also deserves compensation, and that can only be obtained through the civil justice process. So our clients are pursuing all available remedies to them as crime victims through the criminal justice process and also as civil plaintiffs, because they want to see accountability across the board here for the diocese, for Ursuline, for its administrators, for these coaches, and for the players and their parents who may have participated in these matters. And when I'm speaking to the parents, I'm speaking, of course, to the allegations in the complaint about some parents that acted in a retaliatory and intimidating way to our clients when they tried to speak up.
So it was more than one parent. So now, because initially I thought it was, he had said that the dad had received a phone call from a parent, but in this interview, he said some parents. So that means more than one called this family, or, you know, somehow intimidated this family to stop talking. Hey, citizen, thanks for being here. Silent Angel says, if he was no one, either mayor could have told them to zip it and he will get them a job with county. They do that stuff here. Yeah, local small town politics.
Chandra, there's a game tomorrow.
Can you repeat that? You broke up for a moment.
Okay, I said there's a game tomorrow.
Yes. You're gonna actually break some news that I don't think has been reported yet. So let me tell you something two things we believe to have taken place in the last 48 hours since this suit was filed. What is it, 24 hours? When did I file it? Was it yesterday?
Tuesday, today's Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. In the last 48 hours, this is what we believe to have transpired. And I have been trying to call the diocese's council to alert him to this. And unfortunately, he is refusing to speak by phone and insisting we communicate only in writing. And that's baffling.
Oh, because you want things in writing to cover your ass. Because if it's a phone conversation, you may not have that receipt you may need. So I can understand wanting things in writing only because it's to cover your ass.
But I'm going to tell you something. First of all, we have learned, and it's on social media, that the coaches got together with the players and told the players that they had to circle the wagons, and that the players themselves then posted on social media photos of themselves with the caption, "Circle the wagons." That, in our view, and the suit will likely be amended to reflect, we believe reflects an effort to obstruct justice. The idea that one circles the wagons, unquote, without actually being told to tell the truth about what transpired. It's an extremely disturbing development.
Yeah, I would say, because so I looked up circle the wagons just so I could be, correct. So circle the wagons is informal North American of a group unite in defense of a common interest. So what exactly are they? And then so in Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says the meaning of circle the wagons is to gather a group of people together in order to protect themselves from being attacked, usually used figuratively. So, like, stand together. Wow.
The other thing we believe to have occurred is that the school had an emergency all-school assembly yesterday in which the administrators exhorted the teachers and the students that they must support and go to the football game.
What? This is not looking good. If all of this is true, which I don't believe this lawyer would be saying these things if he didn't have evidence of this happening, the fact that they had a school assembly and rallied and said, you must be there, you've got to support the football team, get out of here.
Now, that is, again, beyond absurd, that the message is, again, effectively circle the wagons. So this is extremely disturbing behavior. In our view, respectfully, this continues a pattern of cover-up, and we are continuing to investigate it, and we would welcome information from those who are aware about this questionable conduct by the school, because the school and the diocese need to be held accountable.
What is circle the wagon for those who may not know what that is? Can you once again explain what that means?
Well, in Old West terms, it refers to circling the covered wagons to be able to defend against the enemy from outside. But in practical terms, when a cover-up is going on, it means let us all hang together lest we all hang separately. Like, let's basically just do whatever we need to do and say whatever we need to say to protect each other. And that is not the appropriate stance in these circumstances. One shouldn't be, quote unquote, circling the wagons for the football team. One should be trying to get to the truth of what occurred. And no student should feel pressured that they are, or encouraged that they are supposed to only act a certain way and say certain things for the football coaches and the administrators to be happy. That is coercive. In our view, it is obstruction of justice.
I agree.
An all-school assembly requiring or encouraging everyone to attend the football game tomorrow night.
Our understanding is it was insisting. Yeah.
Oh.
Telling them that they have to do it, that they have to support the football team no matter what. I mean, what the complaint alleges in some detail and presents this theme that apparently the football team was elevated over all other values.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Mr. Chandra is completely correct. The football team is being held higher than any value that this school claims to uphold.
including the actual motto of the school, which is all glory to God.
Angel, this was, check real quick, 4 days ago, so September 5th. And the lawsuit was filed on the 2nd, so a week ago. So this was, it says the 5th, which I think would really be the 4th in YouTube terms. Oh, it says Thursday. So that would have been the 4th. Yeah, because YouTube is always a day late and a dollar short. So this interview was the 4th.
God. Instead, it was all glory to the football team.
Collusion. There's a good word. Every time I hear the word collusion, I think of Bullhorn Betty, because my good friend Sinner had called her at one point, and she got on this soapbox about all of the stories she covers, and one of the things she said was collusion. So that's, I always think of her when I hear that word.
That's
and I just, let me zoom out a little bit and look. Let's be very clear, and excuse me, let me start over. Let's be very clear. This is not an arguable point that hazing is criminal in Ohio. It is criminal in Florida. It is a criminal act in Tennessee. It is a criminal act in Alabama, all of the states involved here. It is a criminal act, and it is defined in the statute, and it certainly would be inclusive of sexual assaults as part of hazing, or any kind of assaults or battery.
Sure.
So under those circumstances, where you see not only a pattern of conduct, but you also, according to the complaint, have cover-ups of that conduct, there's a thinking.
Oh, he froze again.
Where nobody seems to be able to be the adult in the room. That's what the suit is alleging. There's nobody who's actually functioning as the adult. These coaches, the teachers, they're all mandatory reporters.
They are.
They are required by law to report what they know and what's happening, to stop it, to prevent it. They are in loco parentis, which means they are in the shoes of the parents. They're in the location of the parents. They're acting as the parents when they are in charge of these children, and these are children.
That is one of our questions. There have been.
Oh, okay, Angel. Yes, and to be clear, it was BHB's call-in show. He didn't actually call her on the phone. He called her on her show. So Angel says that was for the game. They canceled Pharrell, where he said everyone must come to the game and support the football team. Yeah, and he did say it was a school assembly. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't say that it was a pep rally, so to speak. He said there was an assembly.
No dismissals. There have been no.
And this interview was on Thursday, which was the day before the game with Farrell. Because the game with Farrell, it would have been the Friday after this interview.
Leave of absences while an investigation is pending. In
the normal corporate world, here is what would happen. In the normal world, the moment there are allegations as serious as this, the people allegedly involved are either suspended from school, or in the case of the coaches, would be suspended and placed on administrative leave. It might be a paid administrative leave, pending a thorough investigation. A thorough investigation in a situation like this certainly requires that you interview the alleged victims, you interview all of the alleged actors, and we're talking about upwards of 20 players that were at least witnesses, and about 12 or so who were directly involved, allegedly, according to the complaint. In those circumstances, you do a thorough investigation. It might take weeks, it might take months, but you do not, under any circumstances, just let business as usual go on and say the football team is the most important thing in the world and we all have to go and support them. And gee, everybody, nothing happened. There's nothing to see here. And we investigated and everything's fine. Well, if you investigated, then why did you refer it to law enforcement? And why are these people still there? Again.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing they did. They did refer it to law enforcement. Maybe they said, "Oh, here, it's not our problem anymore. You investigate."
And I'd be the last person in the world ever to suggest to anyone that people aren't presumed innocent and that we should just assume guilt. We have a civil justice process for resolving liability. We have a criminal justice process for determining whether there's probable cause and people should be charged and whether they should be convicted. But when there is a cloud over a football program, the way there is right now, and where there's certainly the administrators have seen video evidence of it and photographic evidence of it, which our complaint is replete with those screenshots. In those circumstances, you expect administrators to act accordingly. And frankly, let's not let the diocese off the hook here. The diocese should be suspending the administrators who are now accused in a 200-page civil complaint of cover-up. There should be a thorough investigation and there should be a thorough cleansing of the school.
Diocese.
And potentially the diocese.
Yeah, the diocese. My goodness. I want to, there's so many questions. How is your client? How are they?
So this has been an incredibly difficult situation for the client. Not only was the son, he contends and the suit contends, sexually assaulted and repeatedly victimized, as you see from the details of the complaint, but then his sister was subject to intimidation by one of the players. The suit alleges that people started stalking her at work, showing up, and one individual associated with one of the players involved and put his fingers to his eyes and pointed at her, as if to say, in a mobster fashion, "We are watching you." The mother has been subjected to intimidation and retaliation by other parents, according to the complaint, who've been, essentially blaming her for daring putting the football team in jeopardy again, football overall. So this has been incredibly painful for them, incredibly distressing. But what I have to say I admire is their determination to do what is right, the ethical core in which they understand that what happened was wrong here. And despite all of the pain and the distress and the fear that they are experiencing, they are absolutely determined to hold everybody from top to bottom accountable. And for that, I feel, and our entire community of lawyers representing them feels very much honored to be entrusted with such a solemn representation.
Chandra, this feels like some kind of plot out of a movie.
Yeah, except that if we were to see this plot in a movie, we would think it was a bad movie because we wouldn't be able to suspend our disbelief that every actor at every moment throughout the course of events would make a stupid decision over a long period of time, including after the suit.
And so, Angel, I agree with you. And with that, Ursuline, from president, coaches, staff, and kids involved should be charged. I don't disagree, but there are also others that are attending because of academics. I agree. And the thing is, because this diocese and administrators chose to try to protect the football team, the rest of those kids who have nothing to do with it are going to be held accountable when they had nothing to do with it. They're going to suffer because of what's being said about the school as a whole. They thought about 41 kids. They didn't think about, the hundreds of others who go there. It's sad. Hey, Froggy.
Is filed. We just wouldn't believe it. And the movie studios would reject the script as saying beyond belief. So the reality here, unfortunately, is alleged in the complaint and the forthcoming amended and supplemental complaint.
Oh, amended and supplemental. Let me see if he's got that posted.
You froze a little bit.
Let me just repeat that last sentence.
Yes, please.
The reality, as alleged in the complaint, is far more bizarre, I think, than even Hollywood would tolerate.
I mean, I'm sitting here, I can't even, I'm like, this is Youngstown, Ohio, and this is happening. I'm stunned. What?
Sia, did your readers have any other questions that I can address?
Yes. Let's see.
I did see people asking the question, why is this civil and what about the criminal? And
yes.
I put up an FAQ on our website on the difference between the civil justice and criminal process. That
Definitely take a peek. Let me see. I had one more. I want to make sure I look at my notes. So more people did come forward. More people are possibly.
Yes, we've heard from multiple people who are coming.
And then I asked you about if you felt that this was.
I missed what she is referencing. Did I have to go up further? Nanny says, along with all this comes public humiliation for the victims and families. And then Angel said that has already happened from those that take football serious for scholarships for colleges for their sons. And I will say, I was listening and looking at chat. I actually went to Facebook because I'm like, I wonder what they're saying on Facebook. Well, the first post that popped up on Facebook is that there are people going hard at the football players on TikTok. And it could be players who weren't even involved, but they are posting videos, they are posting other things of these other minor kids. And that's not okay, in my opinion. They are comparing some of the football players to P. Diddy. I mean, it's bad, and I don't agree with that at all.
I don't know if I asked you this. We talked about it a little bit. Do you feel this was dragged out for the football season? Like, we talked a little bit about the football season. It was put, it seems like this was put forth, that's the important thing. But a lot of people are like, maybe they dragged this out because they're number 12, they're top of the state, they're this, they're that,
They're number 12.
Who dragged it out?
Like
the school?
The school, the investigators, like everyone's complicit.
So I will say this: I have no reason to believe that law enforcement has been anything other than diligent in this matter.
Okay.
We have no reason to believe that. We have an open communication channel with law enforcement in this matter. I don't want to say anything that would jeopardize their sources, methods, or plans, and I don't have any insight into it. But what I do know is that we have had productive conversations with law enforcement. They are asking the right questions. There was nothing about our civil complaint that we have any reason to believe is incorrect from discussions with law enforcement. We did get the impression that they learned some things, but not everything, because they knew a lot of things already, but they learned some things from our civil complaint and the investigation that we did on our own independently to prepare the civil complaint. So my own belief is that the that law enforcement is doing what it can. Again, this is a multi-jurisdictional investigation. That's my understanding.
Nanny, great question. The Football League has stated, and this isn't verbatim, but they have stated that pending an investigation, etc., they're not getting involved.
Right?
Sure.
Because some of the alleged criminal acts took place in Tennessee, some took place in Florida, some took place in Alabama, others took place, some of the obstruction conduct took place in Ohio, some of the alleged child porn dissemination took place in Ohio, some of it may have taken place elsewhere. So it becomes a complex investigation.
Very much.
Because of the number of places misconduct took place, because of the number of people involved, because of the number of discrete acts that occurred, and because of the different criminal statutes involved across all of these states. As a former federal prosecutor and Cleveland law director myself, I could understand how this would, from a criminal law enforcement standpoint and prosecutorial standpoint, this could become a pretty big, unwieldy matter. You have to have interagency coordination. So I don't personally fault law enforcement for being anything less than diligent when the incident took place in June and a lot of information is coming to light. I should mention one other thing that would be breaking news. We just learned about and obtained another video today that we weren't aware of.
Wow.
Of these same kinds of acts among these football players. So we're just at the beginning of investigating that. Somebody brought that to our attention. We weren't aware of it. We don't know if law enforcement knows about it. So it could be that as an investigation, both criminal and civil proceed, that we learn more and more and more things. We're starting to hear from other victims. It's our belief that this hazing culture at the school goes back years. We will probably hear from victims that may go back years, that maybe even statutes of limitations have passed for them, right? We don't know. We did hear, for example, from another person who was contending not being victimized by the football team, but by lack of diligence by the administrators when serious issues, very serious issues of bullying were brought to the same administrator's attention. So we are just now getting our arms around that.
He froze again.
Who have allegations concerning Ursuline High School. Let me say that again, who have allegations concerning Ursuline High School. And we certainly, if there are other victims out there, we'd like to know about it, because we don't want victims' voices to be lost. They need to be front and center in this matter.
Okay. And then my last question for you. You said something earlier. You said your client was never interviewed for any investigation at the school?
The actual victim client, who was the boy who was subjected to this conduct, has not been interviewed by the school administrators. The mother spoke to them, but so it is our belief, and it is reflected in the allegations of the complaint, that there was no real quote unquote investigation, or certainly not a meaningful one, that anybody who's watching your program would take seriously at all. And that's not a real investigation for something like this. And certainly that's reflected in the false statements as alleged in the complaint that the administrators then tried to make to the Ursuline community and the community at large, that nothing really happened here. It's an isolated incident. There's only a handful of people involved. They had seen the video. It was not a handful of people involved. So once you have administrators making patently false statements out to the community about what transpired, you cannot credibly claim that there was an actual serious investigation when the little information they had reflected that they had something explosive on their hands.
Okay, thank you. And if our viewers have any more questions, you've mentioned there's a FAQ on your website, correct?
An FAQ on the website about the difference between the criminal justice and civil justice process, particularly for sexual assault survivors. And that was just posted today. And people can also visit our website for the blog post, the media release, and a copy of the complaint itself is posted on there. And then finally, people with information can visit chandralaw.com/contact, and they can use the contact form securely to provide the information and their contact information so we can interview them.
Okay. Nope. Pause. You're over. No, pause. Pause. Yes, I can drop that right in chat. So, and it went to the next video, so let me go back.
Okay. I know.
Okay, so here is the link for that interview. All right, and so speaking of the complaint, that is where we are going to go. Actually, before we go there, Mr. Chandra did post an update yesterday on his law page. And so it says, response to Ursuline High School's announcement about football coaches being placed on leave and being suspended. So this was September 8th. Mr. Chandra, lead counsel in the hazing and sexual abuse federal civil rights lawsuit against Ursuline High School, the Diocese of Youngstown, its administrators, football coaches, and football players, issued the following statement in response to Ursuline High School's announcement that 2 assistant coaches are being placed on leave, while head football coach Dan Reardon has, quote, agreed to an indefinite suspension. This is as overdue and incomplete as a school assignment. It's not enough. The principal and assistant principal should be placed on leave or suspended too. And players accused of violence, hazing, and disseminating child porn shouldn't be playing or be in school pending complete investigations, administrative and criminal. It's a smidgen of something, but it's a weak first step, and only that. Our investigation continues. We continue to hear from other victims. We welcome hearing from more and witnesses. And so then he had the hyperlink to his contact page. So we are going to get into the complaint. It is long, 200 pages. So my goal, I didn't realize it's already been an hour and a half, is to get through at least, a little more than a handful, like 20. Casey says, and welcome, Casey. Thanks for being here. The crazy thing is this happens a lot and it gets swept under the rug. Glad the parents are standing up. Yeah. And I can almost guarantee that this isn't the first time something like this has happened. This all breaking in real time. Yep. I guess it's the innocent until proven guilty. I kind of understand that part. Yeah. But when you put things on video and then post it on Snapchat for, your entire football team, that doesn't mean that one of those team members isn't going to screen record, or I don't know if you can download on Snapchat. I know you can screen record or save the video and then send it to other people. Hey, Sipanon. Sipanon says, in Ohio, statute of limitations on child SA must report by age 30, capped at 43 years old with 5-year extension if DNA was found within 25 years. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So, depending on when it happened, the statute of limitation could be decades. Okay, so let me add this to the screen. Okay, so, and this can be found on Mr. Chandra's law page. So actually, let me go back to, so I think it's just chandralaw.com. Yes, it is. Okay, so let me, dang it, that's not what I wanted. chandralaw.com. All right, so I will share his link as well. I mean, he is being very transparent with everything. I actually went to Pacer because I didn't think that the complaint would be so readily available. And here he has it for everyone to see for free on his website. Lindsay Lee says, this is crazy. I've been listening, but was making dinner, so haven't been able to chat. I can't believe they were being forced to attend. I don't know if you could say forced. Nobody can force you to do anything, but I mean, that's really what pep rallies are for. I feel like, in high school, it's like everybody go support the football team. And it's like, well, what about the soccer team? They have a game on the same day. Or, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. So this is, as I said, 200 pages long. It was filed a week ago into the District Court for the Northeastern District of Ohio Eastern Division. So federal court. Mother King, individually and on behalf of her minor children, son King and daughter King, pseudonyms. So that is not their real last name. In care of the Chandra Law Firm. Okay, so it's versus Ursuline High School, Matthew Sammartino, principal, Margaret Demore, assistant principal, Daniel Reardon, head football coach, Timothy McGlynn, and Christian Cyrnudis, assistant football coaches, the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown, Ursuline Player 1, pseudonym minor child individually, and Dale, and I don't know what this FNU means, FNU Peterman, parents of Ursuline Player number 1, Ursuline Player number 4, also the parents of Player 4, Player 5, and said parents, Player 8 and parents, Player 9 and parents, Player 11 and parents, Player 12 and parents, 13 and parents, although their names are unknown, Player 20 and parents, Player 21 and parents, and Player 25 and parents. So how many? I didn't count that the last time I looked. So we got how many players? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 players have been named defendants, but their parents are named on behalf of their minor child. So all of them are under 18. FNU, another, I don't know if it's another university because it has it in the place of the, like what the first name would be. Oh, first name unknown. I wonder if that's what it means, because it is, so like, for example, it says Kristen Brown and FNU Brown. First name unknown, maybe? That actually would make sense if they don't know their first name yet when they filed. Sipanon says, yep, almost too broad, but I think this law was much stricter until the Catholic priest scandal broke several years ago. Many state laws changed to keep reporting age open, so could be a result of past. And I think that's a good thing. I feel in the past the statute of limitations was way too short. And now with and it's sad because now with DNA testing and genetic genealogy, how many cases could have been prosecuted? But because the statute of limitation ran out, there's no justice for these victims. Oh, there's a Florida National University. I'm going to say probably the name unknown, just because that would be weird if, I don't know. I thought maybe there'd be a footnote, but unfortunately there is not. Okay, so complaint with jury demand. Nature of action. This is a federal civil rights action brought by a high school football player and his family. Let me make that a little bit bigger. And his family against a high school, its officials and coaches, and various football players and their parents. It alleges violations of Title IX of the Education Amendment as codified under 20 U.S.C. subsection 1681, with supplemental claims for Ohio, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee legal violations, including statutes establishing civil liability for criminal acts like hazing, disseminating child porn, tampering with evidence, tampering with records, obstructing justice, culpable negligence, child neglect, and failure to report abuse, and other state law civil claims for negligent and reckless hiring, training, supervision, and retention. Disseminating intimate images, assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, and spoliation. Spoliation? I've never seen that word before. I'm going to look that up. Spoliation. Okay, the action of ruining or destroying something. It could also be the action of taking goods or property from somewhere by illegal or unethical means. Okay. Why? Go. I don't want this there. Go away. Lindsay says, but that attorney can't help in the criminal aspect of this. Is that what I heard? I don't know, honestly. I know he is a civil rights lawyer, so I would assume no. Although it does say that he does white collar criminal defense. Oh wait, he does. He does civil rights and constitutional law, white collar criminal defense, whistleblowers, and employment. So those are the things that he covers. Yeah. So I would say he doesn't cover criminal cases. All right, so 2. Ursuline High School is a Catholic high school with the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown. Rather than act in accordance with its stated values and motto, Soli Deo Gloria, Latin for glory to God alone, Ursuline and several of its administrators, coaches, and students opted to violate those values and acted solely for the glory of its football team alone. In June 2025, during a school-sanctioned football camp trip, several football players engaged in criminal activity, including hazing, physical and sexual abuse, kidnapping, production and dissemination of child pornography, and theft, all of which the 3 football coaches who attended the trip knew before, during, and after the incidents. And I am going to give another disclaimer that details of this complaint may be distressing to some, so viewer discretion is advised. Oh, thank you, Curious. Spoliation is a legal term for destroying, hiding, suppression of evidence. Thank you. When school administrators soon after the trip learned of the misconduct, they engaged in their own misconduct and failed to take the appropriate actions to address the misconduct and protect the victims. Ursuline's culture of hazing has existed for many years, due in part to the school's negligent and reckless hiring, training, supervision, and retention of football coaches who engaged in prior misconduct and the school's willingness to turn a blind eye to the sexual victimization of students it is entrusted to protect, all because the school elevates the glory of the football team above basic values. And we know that is true based on Coach Reardon being dismissed as coach because of similar behavior. Hey, lunatic. Victims, both named and unnamed, have endured permanent and lasting harm, degradation, humiliation, intimidation, and retaliation, all of which Ursuline, its administrators, and its coaches could and should have prevented. Now, because of the actions detailed in this complaint, the school must be cleansed. Oh, there's a footnote. And it must be held accountable. So what is the footnote 1? Oh, see the Holy Bible. Gospel of Matthew 21:12-13, Gospel of Mark, Gospel of Luke, Gospel of John. Wow, we are citing the Bible. The school must be cleansed. Parties. Plaintiff Mother King, mother, is the mother of two of the victims, son King and daughter King. She resides in Trumbull County, Ohio. Plaintiff son King, son, a minor at the time of the filing, was entering his freshman year at Ursuline, but has since transferred to another high school. He resides in Trumbull County, Ohio. Plaintiff daughter King, daughter, a minor at the time of the filing, was entering her senior year at Ursuline, but has since transferred to another high school. She resides in Trumbull County, Ohio. Is this an exorcism? I don't know. Maybe they need one. Defendant Ursuline High School, Ursuline, is a Catholic school under the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown, Diocese. Ursuline, with the diocese's approval, is responsible for its employees' hiring, retention, training, supervision, and termination. That includes its football coaches. Father Richard Murphy is Ursuline's president. Ursuline is in Mahoning County, Ohio. At times relevant, Ursuline received and receives federal funds. Defendant Matthew Sammartino is Ursuline's principal. He resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Margaret Demore is Ursuline's assistant principal. She resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Daniel Reardon is Ursuline's head football coach. Defendant Timothy McGlynn is an Ursuline assistant football coach. Oh my gosh, Birdie. Oh my gosh, my cat just ran over the keyboard. Hold on. I don't know where I was. Birdie, that's naughty. Oh my gosh, Birdie wanted us to go back in time. Jeez. There we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Birdie, that's naughty. Okay, so we've got defendant Daniel Reardon, football coach, Timothy McGlynn, assistant, Christian Siren Nudis, assistant. They all reside in Mahoning County. No, I don't know what she wants. She just took off from the other side of the room and decided to run across my computer instead of, jump on the floor and run across there. Defendant Catholic Diocese of Youngstown is led by the bishop, currently Bishop David Bonner, who owns the I cannot say that word, diocesan property, and is the final decision maker for the diocese and all entities within it, including Ursuline. His predecessor was the late Bishop George Murray. The diocese is headquartered in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Ursuline player 1, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. Okay, so now they're going to say what class they are. I'm assuming they're all upperclassmen. Birdie performing the end. She looked like a little burdocks, if you know what burdocks are. She, you know, like the coloring and everything, she looked like a burdock. So her name is Burdocks, but I call her Birdie. Okay, so player 1, junior football player. His address is unknown. Despite reasonable and negligent effort, despite reasonable and diligent efforts, plaintiffs could not discover player 1's address. Upon identification of player 1's address, plaintiffs intend to amend this complaint. Plaintiffs reserve the right to amend this paragraph pending full discovery. Defendants Dale Peterman and FNU Peterman are the parents of player 1. Dale Peterman is the father of player 1. He resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. FNU Peterman is player 1's mother, whose exact identity is unknown, but whose involvement is anticipated by plaintiffs. Okay, so that makes sense. So that must be first name unknown. Despite reasonable and diligent efforts, plaintiffs could not discover FNU Peterman's name and identity. Upon identification of FNU Peterman, plaintiffs intend to amend this complaint. Plaintiffs reserve the right to amend this paragraph pending discovery. Okay, so I'm going to skip those 2 sentences because it seems like it's going to be the same for a lot of these. Defendant Ursuline player 4, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. His address is unknown. Okay, so they could not discover player 4's address. Defendants FNU Wilson and FNU Wilson are the parents of player 4, whose exact identities are unknown, but whose involvement is anticipated by plaintiffs. Defendant Ursuline player 5, a minor, is an Ursuline sophomore football player. He resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Christopher and Gina Crilly are the parents of player 5. They reside in Mahoning County, Ohio. Lindsay, this happened in June. The lawsuit was filed a week ago to the day. Defendant Todd White and FNU White are the parents of player 8. Todd White is the father of player 8. He resides in Mahoning County. FNU White is player 8's mother, whose exact identity is unknown, but whose involvement is anticipated. Defendant Ursuline player 9, a minor, is an Ursuline senior football player. He resides in Trumbull County, Ohio. Defendant Summer Thomas is the mother of player 9. She resides in Trumbull County, Ohio. Defendant Ursuline player 11, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. He resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Kristen Brown is the mother of player 11. She resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. FNU Brown is the father of player 11, whose exact identity is unknown, but whose involvement is anticipated. Defendant Ursuline player 12, a minor, is an Ursuline sophomore football player. He resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Anthony and Rachel Camuso are the parents of player 12. They reside in Mahoning County, Ohio. Defendant Ursuline player 13, a minor, is an Ursuline football player whose exact identity is unknown. Despite reasonable and diligent efforts, plaintiffs could not discover player 13's name and identity. So maybe not able to identify using the videos, or interesting. Player 13's parents, names unknown, exact identities are unknown, but their involvement is anticipated. Defendant Ursuline player 20, a minor, is an Ursuline sophomore football player. His address is unknown. Defendants FNU Smith and FNU Smith are the parents of player 20, whose exact identities are unknown, but whose involvement is anticipated. And he did say in that interview that he did have an amended complaint. Defendant Ursuline player 21, a minor, is a sophomore football player. He resides in Mahoning County. Defendant Charlotte Sirianudis is the mother of player 21. She resides in Mahoning County, Ohio. FNU Dudas is the father of player 21, whose exact identity is unknown, but whose involvement is anticipated. Defendant Ursuline player 25, a minor, is an Ursuline freshman football player. He resides in Canfield, Ohio. So none of those named are seniors. I thought that most would be seniors, but they are here. There's another freshman. Freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Defendants David and Gina Brace are the parents of player 25. They reside in Canfield, Ohio. Okay, Lindsay says, I live about 2 hours, 45 minutes north of Youngstown. Yeah, Evil Queen, I have to keep reminding myself this is a high school. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, Angel, because there's no seniors named in the complaint. Yeah. What did Narco say? Oh yeah, Narcos. The game was last Friday, was canceled. Against, I think it's Farrell. Probably Farrell. I wouldn't want to be named Farrell because that would be kind of weird. Casey said ruined their whole career before it started. Not necessarily. I don't know if you were here, Casey. I had brought up when I was listening to the interview, it reminded me of Steubenville and that controversy with that young girl who those football players sexually assaulted. Well, they raped her. And there was this, huge argument about what constitutes rape. And, that group Anonymous got involved because nothing was happening. They also got involved in another case. And I think that one was down south though. But anyways, my point was these two from Steubenville that were convicted because they were minors, they're no longer on the sex offender list, and they've been able to play college football. Like, it's like nothing ever happened. Oh my gosh, Twist. How ironic is it that Steubenville plays Ursuline this upcoming football Friday? No kidding. No kidding. Interesting. That's true. Seniors may have been exposed to this behavior, but may be more mature, more focused on life and their future life, and possibly instill the younger people, you do it. Or it's going to be you. Not that they're doing that. I'm just, giving an example of what may be happening. Other non-party involved individuals. John DeSantis is Ursuline's athletic director and a teacher there. DeSantis is also an assistant football coach, but wasn't on the camp trip. DeSantis was present when Sammartino and DeMoore told the assailant players that an investigation into the matter was ongoing and instructed them not to talk to anyone about, there's a typo, about what happened. Although he was present, currently available evidence doesn't suggest DeSantis was complicit in the warning and instruction. If discovery yields information about DeSantis's level of involvement, plaintiffs intend to amend this complaint to name him as a defendant. John Doe's multiple, collectively Ursuline Media Mob. What? Ursuline Media Mob? Are individuals whose exact identities are unknown, but whose involvement plaintiffs anticipate. Despite reasonable and diligent efforts, plaintiffs have not yet identified John Doe's names. After identifying them in discovery, plaintiffs intend to amend this complaint to name them individually as defendants. Interesting. Okay. Ursuline player 2, a minor, possibly an adult. Okay. So here we go. So Silent Angel had said seniors. And I was like, no, they said juniors and sophomores and freshmen. But here we go. There are, holy shit, there's a lot of freaking players. So this wasn't a handful. This was like a few egg crates full. Senior football player, aside from witnessing an incident, player 2 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. Ursuline player 3, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. Aside from witnessing an incident, player 3 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. Well, if you're witnessing it, you're involved in it. I mean, maybe that's semantics, but if you're witnessing it, you're involved because you didn't do anything about it. So Women's Warrior in high school, 9th grade is freshman, 10th grade sophomore, 11th grade junior, 12th grade senior. So similar to college, only it's high school is named the same thing. So then you go to college, you're back to being a freshman, then sophomore, then junior, then senior. Okay, I lost where. Okay, so Ursuline player 6, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. Player 6 was involved in the incidents. Ursuline player 7, a minor, is an Ursuline freshman football player. Player 7 was involved in the incidents. Ursuline player 10, a minor, at relevant times, was an Ursuline junior football player. What does that mean? A minor at relevant times? That's a weird... Oh, because he transferred. Okay, so that makes sense. So Ursuline player 10, a minor, at relevant times was an Ursuline junior football player. Player 10 was involved in the incidents. Player 10 has since transferred to another high school. Ursuline player 14, a minor, possibly an adult, is an Ursuline senior football player. Player 14 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. After several nights of hazing and attacks, player 14 sent the following message to the football team's group Snapchat. I'ma be real with y'all. Y'all actually have to stop like the gay shit in the rooms because the coaches know and said that shit better fucking stop. Sick. Oh, and here's what I was referring to. So this was from Snapchat. Player 11 looks like player 11 either forwarded it or screenshot it and then shared it. I'm not exactly sure how Snapchat works. So June 16th. And I forgot, what was the date? It was June. Let me see if I can find it quick, or somebody might be able to remember. Maybe it was June 16th. No, I can't find it. I should have wrote it down. Oh, wait, I did write it down. Where's my notebook? Hold the phone. I did write it down. Okay, so the trip was June 12th to June 19th. June 12th to June 19th. And so this was in the middle of the trip. So, okay, so this one was responding. Player 11 responded to player 14. Bro, dead ass? Player 11, well, text me. Oh, so then these are all like they redacted the player names. Evil Queen, it seems so. The coaches sent a message to a child. Good way to look at it. Well, and depending on player 14, okay, so it said a senior, so maybe a captain. So the coaches went to the captains and said, you better get this, you better tell them to cut the shit. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Ursuline player 15, a minor, is an Ursuline freshman football player. Aside from being a victim, player 15 isn't believed to have been involved in the incidents. Based on information and belief, player 15's father is an Ursuline assistant football coach. So that is that, so the assistant football coach's son was a victim. Unbelievable. Ursuline player 16, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. Player 16 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. Player 16, on learning of the attacks on Sun, told the other players not to harm Sun anymore. But Sun was harmed again. Okay, so here is a witness who tried to stop it. Ursuline player 17, a minor, possibly an adult, is an Ursuline senior football player. Player 17 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. Player 17 sent a message to the football team's group Snapchat, like the message player 14 posted, that the other players must stop the hazing and the coaches know what was happening. Yet even after player 17 sent this message and the coaches knew what was happening, the hazing, attacks, and sexual assaults continued. Angel says the coach knew this was going on and said something. One of the coach's son played on the team. Yeah, and his son was apparently a victim of this as well. Ursuline player 18, a minor, is an Ursuline sophomore football player. Player 18 was involved in the incidents. Ursuline player 19, a minor, is an Ursuline freshman football player. He was involved. Ursuline player 22, freshman football player, is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. Ursuline player 23, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. Aside from witnessing an incident, player 23 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. Ursuline player 24, a minor, is an Ursuline junior football player. Aside from witnessing an incident, player 24 is not believed to have been involved in the incidents. All right, so I'm going to go for about another 10 to 15 minutes just because it is past my time. Evidence disclaimer. Plaintiffs lawfully possess videos, photos, and messages from the football team's group Snapchat and other documentation supporting the claims. Although these items are incorporated by reference throughout the complaint, because they contain child pornography, photos, and names of minors, and other sensitive material, they are not attached. These items will be produced during discovery and lodged with the court or clerk as needed after the court enters a protective order. Defendants Sammartino and Demore, who is the president and principal and assistant principal, already possess many of these items, including the videos containing child pornography. Jurisdiction and venue. This court has subject matter jurisdiction under these for federal claims under Title IX of the Education Amendment as codified under 20 U.S.C. subsection 1681, etc. This court has personal jurisdiction over the defendants who reside in and conduct business in this district. Venue is proper under 28 U.S.C. section 1391 because the substantial events giving rise to several of the claims took place within this district. Okay, so we'll just go through the factual background and then we will continue this tomorrow. In 2011, defendant Daniel Reardon resigned as Ursuline's head football coach under a cloud of negativity, only to be rehired in 2019. In 2004, Ursuline hired defendant Daniel Reardon as its head football coach. After 8 years at the helm, including several successful seasons and 3 state titles, Reardon resigned under a cloud. The cloud was based on Reardon's recruitment of players who engaged in conduct that reflected poorly on the school, its academics, and its reputation, coupled with Reardon's willingness to turn a blind eye to his football players' misconduct. But because of Ursuline's obsession with winning football games, it was willing to overlook Reardon and his players' transgressions. After Reardon's departure, Ursuline hired a new coach, Larry Kemp, hoping to maintain a winning program without the negativity. Kemp was an assistant coach under Reardon. To try to restore order, Ursuline curtailed Kemp's ability to recruit and bring in students who did not meet the school's traditional standards and could not handle its curriculum, unlike Reardon, who was permitted to recruit such players. Under Kemp, Ursuline tightened the scholastic requirements, something not done under Reardon. Although Kemp had some successful years, he didn't enjoy the same winning success as Reardon. In 2018, after 3 consecutive losing seasons, Ursuline did not renew Kemp's contract. In 2019, despite knowing of the issues with Reardon's first tenure as head coach, Ursuline wanted to rehire Reardon to try to return to a winning program, even with the known risk and potential for the cloud to return. It did. Ursuline forwarded Reardon's name to the diocese and recommended he be hired. At the time, the diocese had such decision-making authority, with the bishop, then Bishop George Murray, now deceased, and current Bishop David Bonner having final authority. The diocesan officials, whose duties included overseeing the athletic programs and the hiring, retention, and firing of coaches, recommended that Reardon not be hired because of a history of dishonesty, turning a blind eye to his players' misconduct, and general negativity that followed. Reardon's dishonesty occurred not only during his first stint at Ursuline, but while he coached at Canton McKinley and made false allegations about a coach from a rival high school. Reardon made the false allegation to a diocesan official who investigated the matter and determined Reardon was untruthful. I wonder what the allegation was. After the diocesan official declined Ursuline's efforts to rehire Reardon, Father Richard Murphy, Ursuline's president, met with then Bishop George Murray, now deceased, and urged him to overrule the diocesan official's decision and rehire Reardon. The bishop ultimately sided with Ursuline and Father Murphy and rehired Reardon as its head football coach, despite his dubious background. Within years of Reardon's hiring, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, OHSAA, sanctioned Ursuline for violations involving improper recruiting techniques. Footnote 2. All right, let's go to footnote 2. Dana, Balash, Ursuline, Austintown, Fitch, and Liberty face penalties from OHSAA. WFMJ Channel 21. Okay, so that was a news source. In other instances, an assistant football coach's son actively tried to recruit players from other schools. In another instance, based on information and belief, a player who was considering transferring to Ursuline was told he would receive money after games if he played for Ursuline. So we're gonna pay you after games if you come play for us. That's not cool. Reardon and Ursuline knew of OHSAA's prohibition on certain forms of recruiting, yet disobeyed and flouted these rules for the glory of its football team alone. Ursuline, the diocese, and the bishop have continued to renew Reardon's coaching and teaching contracts. That's right, because he's also a teacher. I wonder what he teaches. In 2020, within days of being accused of abuse, threats, and hazing, defendant Timothy McGlynn resigned as Champion High School's head football coach, only to have Ursuline embrace and hire him as an assistant football coach. Okay, so at the beginning of the live, I had these guys confused. I thought the Reardon was the physical and mental abuse. It was actually, they were flip-flopped. Excuse me. In 2017, Champion High School hired defendant Timothy McGlynn as its head football coach. Footnote 3. In October 2020, midway through the season, Champion High School placed McGlynn on administrative leave while it investigated allegations of misconduct by McGlynn, including physically abusing and threatening players and irregularities with booster funds. Oh. A letter dated October 21st, 2020, from the Champion superintendent to McGlynn stated that McGlynn was being placed on administrative leave for the remainder of the season and was to have no contact with the team. Sippin' On says, I'm behind now, but when they say these freshmen were on the team but not involved, does that mean those kids were assaulted or they assaulted somebody? So I believe they were there. So it's, in the one it said that they witnessed the incident but were not involved. And my statement was, well, if you're there, if you're present, you are involved. So it could be that they were just bystanders. Or actually, I was just thinking they could have been in the Snapchat group chat, but not had direct, what's the word? Like, I guess, like, they didn't react to anything. I'm not sure. Okay, so I read that part. McGlynn's leave was prompted by allegations from several players, coaches, and boosters, including that McGlynn threatened to, quote, kill another coach and, quote, firebomb someone's house. What the heck? Like, this is crazy. Why would you hire someone? Oh my goodness gracious. According to one player, when Coach McGlynn hits you, it puts you into a place where you're like, wow, my head coach just hit me. And then he goes on to cuss at you as he's hitting you. And it's not a fun thing. It's not. It's degrading. According to another player, all of us talk about hushed tones about it. We all talk quietly because if he overhears us talking about how he screamed at us yesterday, or he made fun of our families, or he said he was going to burn our houses down, then we would face 30 times the amount of anger than we faced the day before. Jeez. Okay, so this is actually, the footnotes are all from Mike Gauntner and Jay Breen Mitchell. Champion football coach resigns amid allegations of threats, abuse. WFMJ Channel 21, October 27th, 2020. And those are all of those. So they were all in that article. The letter. So this was in the letter. So this must be his personnel file. The letter further states the nature of these allegations has required an extensive and thorough investigation to protect the students and staff that are involved. Rather than waiting for the results of the investigation, McGlynn resigned a few days later without challenging the allegations. Despite the plethora of Despite the plethora of allegations of misconduct from which McGlynn chose to resign rather than face an investigation, Ursuline readily hired him as an assistant football coach to be the defensive coordinator. Ursuline should have conducted a background check on McGlynn before hiring him, and if it did, Ursuline should not have hired someone with such a background, but it did. The information was open and notorious in published reports for Ursuline's leadership to see, and if they did a cursory background check or Google search, they would have seen it. If they failed to, they were negligent. But in any case, they didn't care and hired McGlynn anyways. Ursuline's duty to protect its student athletes took a back seat to its lust for winning football games. McGlynn's physical abuse of players didn't end when he was jettisoned from Champion, but continued at Ursuline. Based on information and belief, as recently as the 2024 season, McGlynn physically abused at least one Ursuline football player, which Reardon and Ursuline administrators knew, yet still did nothing. Before long, McGlynn began engaging in his own recruiting violations too, following in Reardon's footsteps and blueprint. In February 2025, Ursuline was desperately trying to recruit a player from another school. McGlynn contacted Mother, who was friendly with this other player's family, and asked Mother to help recruit the player to attend Ursuline. Okay, so the mother that they're quoting here is the mother of the boy who was hazed and sexually assaulted. So McGlynn used her, who was friendly with another player's family, and asked her to help recruit this player. McGlynn texted Mother the following. Hey, do you remember player's nickname that played with us? Can you see if your kid has his number? And if so, text him about Ursuline. We need to get him if we can. Cheney, I can't talk to him. Texted in response to Mother asking what school this other player was currently attending. McGlynn further acknowledged the recruiting violation by admitting, I can't talk to him. Wow, 2009. That is wild. Wild. Oh, look at that. To Tim McGlynn. Hey, just got word there's going to be a lot of people turning, I guess it's supposed to be in apps, so tell them don't wait. Okay, I'll pass it along. Thank you. Yep. Hey, do you remember blank that played with us? Can you see if your kid has his number? And if so, text him about Ursuline. Response, yeah, I'll ask him. I remember him. We need to get him if we can. Mother replies, yeah, I agree. Let me see what we can do. What school does he go to now? Cheney, I can't talk to him. And she responded, right. McGlynn then texted Mother the other player's actual name and his mother's social media accounts. Mother felt pressured to please McGlynn, who made it clear this was how Ursuline operated and who would be son's coach in the upcoming years. So Mother acquiesced. Oh my gosh. I can't pronounce that word. To McGlynn's mounting pressure and tried to recruit the player to Ursuline. Acquiesced. Oh my gosh. Why couldn't I think of how to pronounce it? I'm going to read that again. So Mother acquiesced to McGlynn's mounting pressure and tried to recruit the player to Ursuline. Why couldn't I remember how to say that word? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Acquiesced. In response, McGlynn texted Mother the following. He. Yes, go get him, girl. You will get a night out on us. Not joking. In response to Mother texting, ha ha ha. Anywhere you want. You might get a vacation out of this. With whoever you want, all paid. Dan Reardon wants him bad. We will get him there. Tell her. Other player's mother. Wow. Okay, so she wrote, ha ha ha. He said, not joking. Mom responds, coffee or more, ha ha. Anywhere you want. Oh my goodness. Anywhere you want, ha ha ha. You might get a vacation out of this. Mother responds, with you, ha ha. With whoever you want, all paid. Dan wants him bad. She says, I'll see what I can do. McGlynn responds, LOLO. Let's go. Mom responds, what do you think the reason he's at Cheney? McGlynn responds, because Mom didn't want to take him to St. Rose. We had him there and she would not take him. Mother responds, I am a taxi. He responds, me too. So the mother was intimidated. I think so. When Mother asked McGlynn for some information on this other player and how Ursuline came into contact with him, McGlynn texted back, ha ha, Coach JV, he was his little league coach. Just don't say my name. McGlynn again acknowledged the recruiting violation. Okay, so after the Me Too being a taxi, Mother says, I will take him, haha. McGlynn says, we will get him there, tell her. Mother responds, how did you guys come in contact with him initially? I am asking so I have some leverage, LOL. Need a bit of a backstory. And then that's when McGlynn says, haha. He says haha a lot. Haha, Coach JV, he was his little league coach. Just don't say my name. Mother was able to contact the other player's mother, but the mother informed Mother that her son received a full scholarship to attend a rival high school. When Mother informed McGlynn became even more aggressive in the illegal recruitment and instructed Mother to lie to the other player's mother. Quote, please tell her there are no scholarships at the rival high school, so if it was you, look into Ursuline. Well, if the mom knows he received a full scholarship, he received a full scholarship. Okay, so it says, oh, so he must not have been going there yet, because it says, I'm sorry, I thought I wrote you back. Did he get in touch with you yet? He got a full scholarship at blank, so I don't know which one he's going to choose. So Mother says, hey, I got the influenza A, so Coffee is out tomorrow, but working on him. McGlynn says, please tell her there are no scholarships, so if I was you, look into Ursuline. Mom says, I told her. She said she's going to have him message me. McGlynn says, sweet, go get him, girl. Mother says, is she talking about ed choice? McGlynn then texted Mother further instructions. Can we get her on the phone and talk her through it? SIC, sick. Not wanting the other player to attend a rival high school, McGlynn opted to now speak directly to the mother. To further entice the other player's mother to send him to Ursuline, McGlynn texted Mother, right, and remember, wins get scouts, meaning college football scouts will look at him. McGlynn then texted Mother Ursuline's record for the past 5 years. Okay, so, big thing is to get an application in. He has to take the next placement test. Okay, I told her and offered my help. And then he says, my girl. Like, what is happening here? Nice. Crazy how she leaving up to him. Mother says, right? But okay, what do kids like? Being important, being it at school. I'll play that card all day, LOL. McGlynn says, right. And remember, wins get scouts. Mother says, right. What was blank record? McGlynn responds, Ursuline 56-12 in 5 years. That's 12 wins a year. I'll send you blank in 5 minutes. Mother says, okay, need some stats to work with, LOL. Okay, so we're just going to finish up about McGlynn, and then I'm gonna wrap this up and we'll continue tomorrow. So we actually got through more than I thought. I thought we'd only get through 20 pages. McGlynn violated OSHA's rules and regulations by engaging in such illegal recruiting tactics. These texts also show Reardon, too, was involved in the scheme. Despite being sanctioned only a few years earlier, McGlynn and Ursuline again disregarded OHSAA's rules and regulations and engaged in further illegal recruiting tactics for the glory of its football team alone. I love that this lawyer keeps repeating this phrase, for the glory of its football team alone. All right, y'all. So I'm going to end it here. Let me just look at chat quick. I missed a bunch of messages, so I will go back and look at them after the live. Oh, maybe I wasn't that far behind. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's going to get worse. We haven't even gotten into the details of what happened, which I'm not looking forward to. So have a great night, everyone. I do appreciate everyone being here. I will be live again tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern to keep reading through this docket. And I do foresee us going into Thursday, possibly Friday, but I will keep an eye on it. So I hope to see you tomorrow. And if I don't see you on these YouTube streets, I will see y'all on the flip side. Oh, no. I just saw this at the last minute. Thank you so much, Curious. I do appreciate that. The $10 super chat. You're welcome. Thanks so much. See y'all.
You have one shot on stage, what you got to play? Generic drops for days, still the people rage. Am I not insane? Can you stop and explain why these drops are so lame? Is money buying you fame? I'm fucking on, I'm killing it with this song. You haters can sing along or go back where you belong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving up, moving on. Cause I took your girl to prom, she can't help but sing this song. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. So on like a light switch, flirting back. There's nothing wrong with the way that she's working that. I just want that body bad, come on baby, bring it back. I'm so gone, faded off a 30 rack. She's so on like a light switch, flirting back. There's nothing wrong with the way that she's working that. I just want that body bad, come on baby, bring it back. I rap with a passion, yeah, I got it in me. I've been waiting quite a long time for y'all to hear me. It's about damn time you put some stock into me. You're either sponsoring me or fucking bothering me. And the fact is, we just practice on this madness. That is why our status is like a canvas. Chances our advancement is enhancing, and this new expansion's like a mansion. Comes off till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse.